Hello and welcome back to Pick Up the Pieces. I'm Stacy and we're in the pickup kitchen tonight. We are going to make a quick dinner that everyone is going to love. It is homemade fettuccine Alfredo with shrimp. We're also going to make some garlic knots, and I promise that your whole family will love it. Plus, you can get it on the table really fast on a busy weeknight. So first, I'm going to turn on my pan so that I can get my sauce going. And I'm going to take half a stick of butter and put it in the pan. Now, this is not a low-fat, low-calorie recipe. This is something everyone will love, but this is not something that's going to be super healthy for everyone. So I'm going to chop up some garlic really fine, like a mince, and these garlic cloves were in my freezer. I love to buy garlic in bulk. Usually we buy it at Restaurant Depot, but you can buy it at like your grocery store in big bags or big like tubes where you get 4 or 6 at a time, or you can probably buy it at a place like Costco or BJ's or Sam's Club. And then what I'll do is sit down and peel a whole bunch of it all at once, put it in a big freezer bag and freeze it. So then when I need garlic, I just take it right out of the freezer and it is ready to go. It defrosts really fast. And if you are wanting to use this garlic for something you're cooking, it's perfect. If you want to use it for something fresh like a salsa or something like that, you're going to want to use fresh garlic, not the frozen. So all I'm doing is slicing the garlic into like thinner slices. And this is one of my favorite kitchen tools. This is just a garlic chopper that I got on Amazon, and I'll link it for you in the description box. You can mince your garlic on one side and you can slice your garlic on the other side. And then there's this little container here that'll like catch all your garlic for you. So we like a lot of garlic in this recipe. So do not be alarmed when you see how much garlic is going in this, but because it cooks in the sauce for a little while, it's going to mellow it out. It's not going to be like spicy. It's definitely going to be garlicky. If you like your Alfredo a little less garlicky, then you can certainly cut back on the amount of garlic that you use. But I think I've probably got about 6 or 8 cloves of garlic here, and it will be amazing. Just trust the process. So chopping up the garlic. This garlic chopper makes it really easy, and it makes all the little slices or cubes of garlic really uniform. And so then you don't have to sit here with your knife and chop it yourself. And it's very easy to clean this as well. So then here you have your little drawer full of garlic, and it is perfectly minced. And I'm just going to put this in with the butter. So here we've got our butter and our garlic. I'm going to just saute this garlic in the butter a little bit. You don't have to do this. You can just dump all of this in the pan and then go right on with the next step. But if you want to kind of take like that sharp garlic flavor out of the garlic a little bit, mellow it out a little bit, then you could certainly do this. You don't want to get any color on your garlic. You just want to warm it up a little bit in your butter and get your butter fully melted. And then what I'm going to do here, again, not a healthy recipe for your heart, is add 2 cups of heavy cream. And this is going to basically be your sauce. I'm going to get all that out of there. I have never experimented doing this recipe with anything less than heavy cream. I think that you could certainly try, but I don't think that you're going to get sort of a nice, thick, rich, delicious sauce if you used something like 2% milk or whole milk. You really need heavy cream. Do not use half and half. So now we're going to watch this very closely. Alfredo sauce has a tendency to want to boil over and make a huge mess on your stove. So you do not want to walk away from this. If you are going to walk away for even a second, turn the heat down, because you do not want to end up with a mess on your hands. Okay, so I have a pot of water here. What I did was get the hottest tap water I could get out of my tap, and I put it in this pot with the lid on it. Because I used really hot tap water, it will come to a boil much faster than if I had used cold water. So we're just going to keep an eye on our sauce here, and we're going to keep an eye on our water. I'm also going to add a little bit of fresh ground pepper to my sauce now, and I'm going to add just a couple pinches of salt as well. Later on, we're going to add a whole bunch of Romano cheese. Now, you can certainly add Parmesan, or you can add like a Parmesan Romano blend. I prefer to use Romano cheese for this. I buy my Romano cheese and my pasta, my like linguini or fettuccine. I buy both of those at Restaurant Depot. They are not a sponsor of this video. However, I buy a 5-pound bucket of Romano cheese at a very affordable price and just keep it in the freezer. And then we fill up a jar with cheese and use it, and then refill it as we need to. And then a huge box of pasta lasts a long time, and we use a pound at a time when we make this recipe. So your box of pasta will last you for at least 10 or 20 batches of pasta, depending on how big of a box of pasta you get. So we're going to let this simmer. We're going to let this come to a boil, and then I'll show you the next step when we come back. Okay, so we're going to have shrimp with our pasta, and this is some frozen shrimp that we picked up at Restaurant Depot, and I'm going to thaw it really quickly. I forgot to take it out earlier, but no big deal. I'm just going to put some tap water in my bowl. And I'm just going to let the shrimp sit in this kind of lukewarm tap water for probably about 10 minutes, and then they will be perfectly thawed. These are peeled and deveined already. They have the tail on, and all we're going to do is pull the tail off before we cook them, just to make it easier for everybody to eat them. So I'm keeping a very close eye on this sauce. I don't know if you can see this, but it is starting to simmer a little bit, and this is definitely the point at which you don't walk away from it. Because if you walk away, I am telling you, it will bubble over if you least expect it, or when you least expect it, and you will have a mess to clean up. So now our water is boiling. I'm just going to I have 1 pound of linguini. You could certainly use fettuccine. We like linguini. We use linguini in place of spaghetti sometimes, and so we will use this for our fettuccine Alfredo, linguini Alfredo, if you will. So I just put that in the pot. And I'm just going to prevent it from sticking to itself. And this is going to cook according to the package instructions. I believe it's like 7 or 8 minutes. And then we'll strain this. And we're going to also use this same pot to cook our shrimp. So, I mean, I could take out like another pan and we could saute the shrimp in another pan, but I would rather use this one pot twice and then not have to clean a whole nother pan. So now the sauce is simmering. We're going to let that simmer. You want this sauce to simmer for maybe a total of about 10 minutes. That's about it. It is a very quick cooking sauce. You can have this on the table really fast in the amount of time it takes to boil your pasta, cook up some garlic bread or something, and cook up some shrimp, then this will be ready. You just kind of want to simmer down the heavy cream a little bit and reduce it a little bit, so that way when you add some cheese to it, then it thickens up. And the longer this sauce sits with your pasta, the thicker it will get. So you're going to have to just kind of get to the point where you know what your family likes. If you like a thinner Alfredo, simmer it less. If you like it thicker, simmer it longer. Okay, so you can tell by looking at the sauce now that it's reduced quite a bit. It was about 2 cups to start, and I think it's now reduced by at least, I don't know, maybe 1/3 to 1/2 of a cup, something like that. It's thickened up, the garlic has cooked down a bit, the butter has melted in, and now I'm just going to sprinkle in some cheese. I don't tend to measure this. If I had to guess, I'd say maybe 1/2 cup, 3/4. You can really use however much cheese you want. If you want a really thick sauce, add more cheese. If you want it thinner, you can add less. This is definitely not a traditional like Alfredo sauce from Italy. This is an Americanized Alfredo. But this is sort of what we make and what we really like, and we really enjoy it. We probably have this maybe twice a month, sometimes even more than that. Like I said, it's not a super healthy recipe, but it is really delicious. And, once in a while in this house, we will eat something like this and not feel bad about it at all. So, all right, I'm just going to add a little bit more cheese. So that was probably more like 3/4 of a cup. And this pasta is ready. So I'm going to go dump this into the colander, and I'll be right back to cook the shrimp. Okay, so I will add just a little bit of olive oil just so that our shrimp does not stick. You could certainly add a little bit of butter. You could add a butter flavored oil if you want to, but just a little bit of oil will be fine. And then I'm going to season the shrimp with some Cajun seasoning. We like Cajun seasoning on our shrimp. Now, if you don't want shrimp with your pasta, you certainly don't have to make shrimp. You could grill up some chicken, or if you have some leftover chicken that you're using up, you could just chop it up and put it in. You could certainly use like just a whole bunch of different vegetables and sort of make like an Alfredo primavera if that's what you'd like, or you can just eat it on its own. You could absolutely add a whole bunch of different seafood to this as well. On New Year's, I've made this with scallops and shrimp and lobster and crab. You can absolutely add anything that you want, customize it, and make it the way that you like it. But tonight we're just going to keep it simple and just go with our usual shrimp Alfredo. So this sauce is going to continue to simmer and thicken, and then it looks like I should turn that pan back on, and we're going to add this shrimp. And this will cook really, really fast. And in the time that this shrimp cooks, I'm going to toss the pasta with the sauce. And we've already cooked some garlic knots that are store-bought. And we're going to serve those on the side. Like I said, you could do some garlic bread. You could certainly add a whole bunch of broccoli to this or have it on the side. You can make a nice big salad. Enjoy this any way that you wish. So look, our sauce now is nice and thick. The cheese has melted in, so that's perfect. I'm turning that off. All right, so pasta is ready. All I did was take it right from the colander and put it into this serving bowl. This is the bowl that we bring our pasta to the table in and how we serve it in this house. And so I didn't rinse the pasta and I didn't save any of the pasta water for this recipe. You're not going to need it. And we just pour our Alfredo right into your pasta. It's going to look like a lot of sauce, but honestly, it's not too much. It's perfect. Leftovers are even better. The pasta really like absorbs the sauce. Also, the shrimp cooked in a couple of minutes. All I did was let them simmer in the pan on the one side, flip them, then I turn the heat off and I put the lid on, and they're just keeping warm behind me. And now I'm just tossing the sauce in with the pasta. It's perfect. It came out nice and thick. And then we like to garnish our pasta with fresh parsley that we grew in our garden. Certainly you don't have to do this, but it is really delicious to add a little bit of garden fresh herb to something that is very rich like this. So I'll mix some of it in, and then I'll save just a little bit on the side so that when we serve the pasta to everybody in their individual bowls, then they can have a little bit on the top. Now, we don't mix our shrimp right in with our pasta. We leave it on the side just in case somebody doesn't want shrimp that night. And refrigerating your leftovers, if you add the shrimp in with the pasta, then all of the pasta is going to taste like shrimp. And again, at some point, if somebody wants to have a bowl of this, they may not want the shrimp, they might just want the pasta, or they just might want to snack on the shrimp and not have pasta at all. So we do keep them separate, but you could certainly mix it all together. If you were making like an Alfredo primavera here, you could have sauteed a whole bunch of vegetables and mixed all of those in if you wanted to, or again, you could serve them on the side and mix them in as you wish. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I'm going to show you the plated dish in a second. Thanks for joining me for a weeknight meal. I hope you guys try this. If you do, please comment below what you thought of this recipe. And thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate that you are here. If you wouldn't mind taking a minute to like and subscribe, we would definitely appreciate that as well. Thanks and have a good night. All right, so here is a bowl of pasta dished up for somebody to dig into. And there's a garlic knot too. Thanks again for watching.